All right, one more video before I go. So I started with the cover crops and the wheat and the soybeans, and I went wider, and why are you doing that? And the reason is it's about position. So in golf, you want to be below the hole so you have an uphill putt. We want to get to a position where we create crop architecture. So with the 60-inch wheat, we can defend the soil with that cool season grass to get the water infiltration and the weed pressure in between there. Why do we want to do that? People will drive by and think we're not producing as much, but what's relative here is we started at 120 inches and we've got about 28 inches left before they're touching. We're making production down here. If I had had another plant here, then all this would be like this. It would be completely worthless thatch. And we create phiz. So you look at that tree, that's south, it creates phiz. Everything in nature will conform to the most relative thing, which is sun capture. So by having this cover crop in here, we can use photosynthesis to feed animals such as the sheep first, then the chickens, which nutrient cycle and get deposited into the soil with the liquid carbon from photosynthesis, and then this network is communicating with this plant right here, and we can get genetic expression. So if you look down the road, just like that tree makes the phi, this hemp plant's making the phi. The left's going to jet out towards the southern sun exposure. The right is in competition with the left jetting out, so it's going to jet out to the right. We see the same exact thing with our wide row wheat. So you can put multiple, make this fat wide intercropping. You can empower each entity if you think time and space. So why that's relative is all these things are going to produce buds. You get down there a different variety, it's further ahead, but there's just starting flowering right here, and you would count probably 900 different growing points on here. Again, if we had 5 times more plants, we probably would have less production. And here's the way that math works out is creating shapes. We create irrational numbers or just basically multiplication. So you got twin 30, you create phi, which is 1.618. If you're familiar with pi, is 3.17, half pi is 1.57, 1.68, you get the additional 0.004 from this shape contorting just like that. So you times 1.68 times the width, which is now 92 inches, times 1.68 will give you like 152 or something like that, which is greater than 120 of linear sun capture. So you go by a field of wheat and it's linear sun capture, that's 100%. You can't do better than that, right? Yeah, you can. You can defend the soil, get more value here, and create an algorithm to where you create shapes, and all that additional makeup is in this right here, is in this production on the side. So we're thinking about, when we drive by 60 mile an hour, vertical farming. This is the horizontal part that we're missing, is this pruning, which we have to have another entity to defend the soil, but we get production on both sides of these plants. As I go here to the other side, it's as tall as me now, we get this side too. So this is linear, this is shapes. These are shapes. This is all production on the side, capturing light. But also, we can get some airflow, we can have less disease pressure, we have healthier plants, we have bigger root mass, so we can get through, times when it doesn't rain, much more than if we had more plants out here and we cut a bigger check and then we bitch about the rain because it doesn't rain or it gets too hot. We got to empower the entities, and then you don't need precision ag as much. I can just move these guys around. Okay. You get it? Hopefully. That's how, when I get a soybean plant with 500 pods, it's not because I put some magical elixir silver bullet fertilizer on it. It's that I gave that plant 5 times more sun. That's what's relative. And also what's relative is the cool season grass created a venue for those secondary roots to grow in. It was ahead of it. All right, I digress. But shapes, 1.618. It's bigger surface area with all these arches than it would be flat, and a lot healthier too.